The fuck wouldn't black people have that? What's the difference between us and you?
I actually think that it's comedy watching these donuts try their hardest not to sound racist, and they end up sounding more racist. Yeah. They all just think that black people have some sort of handicap or special needs. It's 2024, not 1824.
There was another tweet that said, the Democratic Party is comprised of racist white liberals.
That is correct.
Am I a racist white liberal?
Well, let's go back. And let's say, I will say this, that many people in the party are not aware of their own racism. Let's go back to an early part of this conversation where you said to me, are you concerned about the color in the White House? Why would you ask me?
Black issues.
No, but why would you ask me? But let's get to really the nucleus of this. Why did you ask me that question today?
Because I'm
Why did you feel that I needed to be
concerned
about that?
Because you're bringing a whole group of young African-American leaders to the White House.
Okay, so this is something that I talk about often, is that in many ways, white liberals don't realize that you put on that, the racism and the conversations that we have.
So you're saying I'm a racist?
You haven't let me finish my statement. You keep cutting me off.
Go ahead.
Okay? The emphasis that you place is always on having a discussion about race. Okay? You guys are insistent on having a conversation about race and telling us that we should see, and implying that we should see race everywhere, and I don't agree with that. If you don't look at me according to the color of my skin, you would simply ask me how I thought that Trump was doing as a president. But instead, you try to drum up a conversation that's surrounded by race by asking me, are there enough black people in the White House?
You're bringing a whole group of young black leaders to the White House.
You see color, I don't.
You know, it's obvious to me that whether you like Candace Owens or not, she has a point. So instead of you not getting to the nitty gritty, you're just asking me a bunch of dumb questions about worrying about colored people in the White House because of whatever reason. It seems like you're not trying to have a conversation, a casual conversations with a person of color, but you would rather just do your little lefty stuff by stirring in the pot. Because I feel like you're not really trying to say anything. You just want to make her feel bad and look bad because whatever reason. Look, I don't care for the left or the right. I'm the person in the middle. I'm just like everybody else. I'm calling it like I see it. I think Candace Owens is right that if you're not going to have a casual conversation with that person, then if you want to bring your little unnecessary questions on the table, then there's no point of even having a conversation with that person if you're not going to understand why the way they are. So that's just what I believe personally.
But I like it. It says if we want racial equality, then race has to become an uninteresting thing about people.
Exactly.
Flashback. Black History Month you find ridiculous. How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Hey, shout out to Morgan Freeman. Like, he basically just said it best. If you want to stop racism, stop talking about it, stop bringing it up, stop mentioning it. If you want people to respect you as the person you are, then stop with the race bait. Stop with the crap that, oh, just because it's your color, you're privileged. No, it's not about having privilege. It's about being yourself and improving yourself as an individual. So basically what Morgan Freeman just said, I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Stop calling me a black man. We're just people. The human race. That's the way it should be.
Why?
You can do, it's your body and your choice, and you can do whatever you want.
So, like, what if I wanted to change my race? Is that okay?
Oh, here come the double standards.
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
I found it funny how it took her like a few seconds to answer that question. You could like transform the body into whatever you want, but it's not okay to be another race. I mean, if women can do whatever they want with their body, so can men. So we live in this crazy world where can nobody be themselves? Can nobody be what they want to be in this world without people judging them? Well, I had to break it to you though, but you're going to get judged regardless. So if women can do it, so can men. But the fact that it took it that long to say, can you change your race?
Yeah, she's got to check with the leaders of the Woke Association first. She can't go around saying anything that offends people or might get cancelled.
Why are you destroying private property? That's not cool. You just can't take down other people's ideas because you disagree with the idea of it. If your guys' ideas are so fragile they can never be challenged without you ripping down that, I think that says more about your ideas than his.
She has a point. Yes.
Definitely has a point.
It's supposed to be on the lamppost because you need to have permission to place it.
Like how your flyer is on the pole?
Strike two.
So the only free speech that's allowed to happen is yours. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to interact with you. If you want interaction, it's not going to happen.
But you won't come and ask him a question.
Go put up the fire. Come on.
Just so you can tear them down again?
Yep. There's still plenty up, aren't there?
We're not taking down your flyers. We're not covering up your flyers. I don't know why you feel the need to take ours.
Let's just face it. Anytime I see people like that with long hair, ain't got nothing done to them, it tells me everything I need to know about these individuals. Because when you try to do something to create a foundation, these people will tear down your signs because, like she said, because you disagree with their views and you disagree with our views. So it's one thing of having a disagreement, but it's the fact that you decided to tear down the signs, all because what? You don't like when we speak the truth, because you want the world to live in this delusional bubble and live in this fantasy land without ever to... How can I put this? In this world that we're living in, you were to never have a truth. But instead, you want us to just live in this fantasy land that anything you do is justifiable without dealing with any types of consequences, repercussions, or accountability. So at some point, we just have to say enough is enough. Like, I'm tired of this generation of not taking responsibilities for their actions. And it shows.
Fascist, you want to say that we're horrible people because we have different viewpoints than you, but you're the ones taking down the flag.
It's facts! It's facts! Is it not facts? These facts are not facts.
My name is Horus, and I'm a red-tailed hawk.
Are you sure about that?
In our world, I do have the body of a hawk, but while fronting, I consider myself a Therian, because I am in a human body, but my identity is still a hawk. I am doing my best to come to terms with living in a human body.
Someone said I thought hawks had perfect eyesight.
You cannot be serious. So now all of a sudden we're dealing with people identifying as objects now? Whatever happened to being yourself, being the way God made you to be? You see, this is a problem I'm seeing every day in real life and on social media. We got people who are living in this leftist world of being identified as this and that. It's like these people don't have God in their lives. They are lost in the mind and they're mentally unstable. And the reason why I said that is because I think what social media has done to these people mentally and physically is it destroyed their possibilities of correcting themselves. When someone confronts them and corrects them on certain things and certain topics and certain ways to pronounce things. But instead, what we're dealing with is a bunch of nut jobs that are not in the right mind because they allow society mint them out for what they're not. That's been my main issue with social media in general. It's like it's corrupted these people's minds. The fact that she had the audacity to identify herself as an eagle, a bald eagle, or falcon, whatever you call it. Yeah, I think these people need Jesus. Better yet, call Michael.
Is that fair to say? Yeah. What would be a country you think works well that's a socialist country?
There are no socialist countries right now.
Has there ever been a socialist country?
Truly socialist? No.
I would say Venezuela, Cuba, those are not and were not socialist countries. I just want to make sure we complete the point. You believe in something that doesn't exist, has never existed. Socialism is always judged against an impossible utopia. And here's the truth of the matter. that markets, which you enjoy comfortably in Western society, is the most proven affluent creating machine in human history. And I would just challenge you to do one thing. Please stop believing in a utopian nightmare and start looking at things around you that are good, that are true, that are beautiful, that work, and are consistent with the natural law. You'll be a much happier person if you do that.
So she's never lived in a socialist country. She's never seen proof of it working in any other country. Yet she wants to live in a socialist country.
Dumb.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Vegans are going to kill humanity. If you personally don't want to eat something with a face, good on you. I don't care, but you have to have the animals there or you will not have the carbon in the soil. You can kiss humanity goodbye. As I said, vegans are going to kill humanity.
At this event, are you consuming meat?
Yes, grass-fed beef jerky.
I read a paper from the University of Oxford in 2017 called Grazed and Confused. Are you familiar?
Totally, I am familiar. It's really wrong.
Why?
They cherry-picked statistics to prove the vegan Nazi point of view.
It acknowledges that even though certain grazing management systems can sequester carbon, this only amounts to around 20 to 60% of the emissions the animals produce in the first place.
That's simply not true.
I read some data that showed that if the US just ate grass-fed meat, that country would need 2.5 times more.
You can tell he a vegan because she's basically pointing out the facts that vegans will kill humanity because, and I agree because every video I see on TikTok is a bunch of vegans, and that vegan girl who has her OnlyFans, I kid you not, she has her OnlyFans because I did a video on her a while back. She going around and harassing people, harassing family events, pointing out the signs that don't eat the animals and all of that. It's like you're just begging for trouble. You're just asking for trouble. You're asking to get punched out. You're asking to get knocked out. And the thing that really bothers me about vegans is that we get that you're trying to spread the message about eating animals and stuff. And yes, pigs, bulls, cows, deers, they do get shredded. They do go into these factories and get the legs and all of that chopped off so that we can eat bacon and stuff like that. We get it. We see that all the time. And it's wrong for them to be doing that. But what you're basically trying to make us do is try to be vegan. Eat our vegetables, eat plant-based food and stuff, which is none of us don't really want to do because, number one, we need protein because without protein, we can never eat good. We can never survive. Not everybody in this world can be vegan. Not everybody, well, not everyone is like you, regardless. So for me, if I want to eat like a piece of chicken or a cheeseburger, I'm allowed to do that. That's called eating protein. That's meat. Fish is meat. Shrimp is meat. Chicken, beef, lamb, anything is meat. It's all about protein. Don't eat it every day. You can eat it every now and then. And yes, of course, you should always have vegetables on your meals, in your meals regardless. But what I'm not understanding from his point of view is that he's telling her about what he's heard based on what's going on about the oil situation of them killing the oil industries or something like that. That's my main issue I have in this video is that you try to convince her to just try to say, okay, you know what, I understand you right, that they're killing animals and all that, but we don't care. It's just food.
Current corn production in corn production, current soy production in soy production.
It's not assuming that, it's taking into account that. If we shifted the system to grass-fed.
If you took the entire U.S., land as grass, not counting cities and roads.
There's not enough land.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is.
For us to eat the same amount of meat.
Yes. Actually, we need to be eating more meat. Again, it's not the cow, it's the how.
Now listen!
Hey, she said.
As his comment says, rule number 1, don't debate a farmer on farming.
Hey,
someone else said she was my professor in grad school. She lives on a ranch and has extensive knowledge on this subject. She's the one that pointed me towards the Savory Institute and Roddale Institute, which could probably support her claims in this clip.
Let's face it, she grew up in the farm, she works in the farm, she knows about the industry more than we do. So the fact that she had to tell him off that her own education, they grow their own vegetables, they grow their own food, they eat chickens, fresh chickens, where they have to cut them and clean them and get the bones out. You know, get all the good stuff, get everything out them chickens, just to live a happy, just a happy, healthy lifestyle. I've seen one clip on Facebook that the woman who is 70 years old, she lived longer because she ate vegetables from her garden on the outside. Instead of going to the stores and buying fruits and vegetables, she grows them from her back porch. So that's how she was able to live that long in her 70s. And if she can do it, I can do it too.
Chicken nuggets?
Animal abuse.
Oh Lord, here comes this dumb video.
We're not weak animal abusers like you.
No, I love abusing animals.
Chickens are my friends.
Yeah.
It's just
Chickens are
chicken.
like cats. I love chickens. I rescue chickens. I don't harm the most innocent and vulnerable beings that we share the planet with for no reason. Pleasure, taste is not an excuse for murder and abuse. You're gonna watch this later? You think you're gonna post this? You're gonna be so embarrassed when you watch this. You're never gonna post this shit.
Nah, what's embarrassing is that shirt you wearing.
Well, I would love for you to post it. Animal abuser, big time loser.
Heck yeah! The cycle of nature.
I like how he's just trolling Venus, man. I don't want to eat that crap.
That is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
We're conservative teachers. We don't teach about Marxist BLM garbage. Communism sucks.
We're conservative teachers. We only hang the American flag in our classroom. Seriously, the rainbow flag is about who you like to have sex with.
Gross. We're conservative teachers. We don't treat our students differently based on the color of their skin. You get the grade you deserve.
That's right. We're conservative teachers.
Wait,
We don't
what
ask
was
our
that
students with. Gross. We're conservative teachers. We don't treat our students differently based on the color of their skin. You get the grade you deserve.
She said that you get the grade you deserve. I'm assuming that she gets like straight A's as long as they're focusing on schools. That's, hey, I guess I like this video. I don't understand it, but I like it.
Our students for their pronouns.
We're conservative teachers. We say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays.
We're conservative teachers. We're not keeping any gender secrets from parents. Those are your kids, not ours.
Yeah, go come pick them up.
I mean, are they conservative teachers or just normal teachers? Because when I was a kid, this was pretty normal. It feels like because some people on the left are acting so crazy, it makes anybody normal seem right.
One of your functions over time has been to communicate scientific knowledge to the public.
Yeah.
And that's why I was quite surprised to hear you talk about the idea that we all exist on a spectrum where you wake up one day and you feel like you're more female and more male.
The XXXY chromosomes are insufficient. Because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. What? Now, suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female, 20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt. You don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Why do you care? My only point was that if who you decide is male and female in the street is a construct of style and trends, what the beauty industrial complex we establish gender, then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender. So they'll wear a skirt, but maybe have a beard. Or they'll mix and match that in whatever way
Neil,
you want.
sorry.
Hold on. I'm not, wait, I'm almost done.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
So,
okay.
If a person using the tools of the beauty industrial complex wants to mix and match this, they are expressing their freedom. Why is your job to tell them not to? If you want...
You want to know what's even sad about society nowadays? Is that we're not allowed to have our own opinions on this idiot that is condemning men of taking away the masculinity of wearing skirts, fingernail polish, dresses. It's like, whatever happened to being yourself? It's like these people have not been to church. They don't have God in their lives. And all of a sudden, they just want to be somebody that they're not because of what society is saying. It's feeding and programming their minds into believing in next crap. That's literally the biggest frustrations I have with this planet that we're in. And this dude right here, I don't know if he's on something, but I feel as if what he's saying is he wants men to be too feminine in terms of like wearing dresses and fingernail polish and makeup and all of that. I mean, at this point, I just give up because as a man, you try your hardest to teach the young generation of becoming future men. But nah, we always got to have somebody that is extra left. And if you notice, I didn't use the term woke. I said left. That would try to convince them to just be something different that makes them uncomfortable. This is one of the main reasons why we can never have nice things in life without the agendas.
Yeah,
Hold on. So first of all, I don't know a single person, and we've talked to trans people on the show. We have trans employees at Trigonometry. We've spoken to all sorts of people about this issue. I do not know a single person who wants to prevent people from dressing how they want, or behaving how they want, or choosing any name that they want. However, the problem is...
So you don't... But you know such people are out there.
I'm sure such people exist in the same way that there are people who believe that the earth is flat and so on. The reason the conversations become an issue is that we assign and allow certain privileges to people based on their sex. If you are female, you get to go to places that only other females are in. You get to compete only with people of your sex because females are at a disadvantage in physical competition to males in almost every sport. In other words, we carve out certain areas where your sex matters tremendously, even though we may respect your right everywhere else to believe that you are whatever you are, to dress however you are, etc. So your claim that today you woke up and put lipstick on and grew your hair out long and tweezed out your moustache and whatever, and therefore you are female, has an impact on other people in certain contexts in which that is a problem.
You gave only two contexts. Do you have others?
Sorry, I wasn't finished. And in those contexts, it is essential, people would argue, to protect women from unfair competition and from various risks for which female-only spaces already exist. That's why people are having this conversation. Okay. It's not out of bigotry.
Do you have more than those two examples? And I'll address each of those in turn. But do you have more than those two? Probably not.
Oh, yes, he does.
No, there's a third one I can give you very easily. In this country, for politics, we have female-only shortlists for positions in Parliament. Therefore,
I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Okay.
Well, that's another example. I can give you more. So, female-only shortlists, there are certain targets within corporations for diversity targets to have a certain number of women on the board. Therefore, when you make a claim that you are female, you are attempting, whether intentionally or not, to insert yourself into categories that are deliberately designed to protect women's interests. That is the concern that people have. So there's 4 examples for you there.
Gotcha, bitch! I used to think this man was a lot more intelligent than he is. I even had him in one of these videos, but then I saw your comments, which led me to this video, and it also led me to conclude that the guy's a bit of a donor. Even if he has got a bunch of degrees and he knows a bunch of scientific facts, it doesn't change the fact that he's a bit of a donor. And science seems to go out the window when it comes to his political beliefs.
I'm not adopting your language because you don't own reality. You don't own grammar. You don't own definitions. You're not important enough to provide me with an instruction manual on how to talk to you. Are you kidding?
I mean, he does got a point. You know, sometimes I feel like the left, they basically just want us to feel how they feel, agree on what they do or how they say things and all of that. But as soon as we drop an opinion, all of a sudden it becomes an issue. So for me, I would like to think that maybe, just maybe, if we cannot agree on certain things, then there's no point of talking to one another without getting into a physical altercation, without getting heated and ugly while we're having this conversation. So, yeah, that dude with the afro, I used to like him when he was dropping some bombs on Demi Lovato. I covered that topic years ago. I think that he's becoming a lefty himself because he's pretty much defending men that want to be like women. Trans men going into... trans women going into women's bathrooms, competing in biological women's sports. Swimming, basketball, or whatever. That is making biological females uncomfortable because knowing that they change their outfits in locker rooms, and he's going to end up seeing a bunch of boobs and butts and all of that walking around the locker room, knowing that a trans woman has a you-know-what still because, number one, he's a man still. And why do you think nothing is going to end up changing unless they create a trans Olympics? Have them compete in trans sports, whether it's swimming, basketball, jujitsu, like you name it. And if you can do that with the trans community, I'm sure they're going to find some appreciation for it. So there's no point of you having them compete in biological women's sports if they're not fully transgender. The only way for you to become trans is you got to have you-know-what chopped off. Everything has to develop one by one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not coming off as transphobic or anything. That's what they all claim. Especially when you're trying to tell the truth like I'm doing right now. I'm saying that if there were to be a trans Olympic Games, then all the transgenders need to compete in those type of sports, specifically, exclusively, just for them. Am I making sense or not?
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which absolutely fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the game.
I can see what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it. He's cooking.
See, they're trying to trap him by throwing in these shocking topics with the questions so they can manipulate his answer and make him sound like some terrible human being. But the thing is, a lot of them are spineless, so when you give it back to them and you challenge them back, they crumble. What a lot of these Muppets don't realise is the more they keep using these terms and buzzwords to villainise people, the less power these words have.
Should trans athletes compete against biological women?
Of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely think so, yes.
I don't see that big of an issue of it.
Absolutely, they're still women.
This is a very interesting topic.
I don't think so.
I think not.
I say no. I don't think it's fair biologically.
I think it's kind of an unfair game.
They are women at the end of the day. Like once they transition, they should be able to.
No.
What?
They should have their own competition.
Exactly! Bruh, I was just saying this a few seconds ago. If there's a trans Olympic Games, it should be made specifically for them. I'm glad that somebody with logical common sense agrees on what I was saying.
Male.
Let's just have a biological men v biological women's Olympics so we can shut all these Muppets up and they can see how unfair the whole thing would be.
I mean, some of them actually don't agree on
at least
transgender
acknowledge that sex and gender are two separate things.
That's what I was going to say. There are 0 genders, 2 sexes, and infinite personalities.
Okay.
Not only are most of these Muppets OnlyFans girls that belong to the streets, but they're also all lacking brain cells and they all need Michael.
Get some help.
Hey man, shout out to Orego TV for this video. Like I said, sometimes I think the left has gone way out of control and is getting to a point where we're about to lose faith in humanity in general as we go forward in life. So to me, I think the best thing for you to do is just create something that a certain type of community can adjust to and like, that is for them, specifically for them. Like, you can throw away the trans women competing against biological women in sports and all of that, because like they said in the video, biological women have certain disadvantage in certain sports that men are stronger than biological women. Though you got some of them are in bodybuilder though, but sometimes having muscles though allow you to become stronger. It boosts your ego a lot worse, in my opinion. That's if you're taking steroids. But at the end of the day, I feel like, to me, the left world that we're in right now is basically out of control, and it's allowing more damage when it comes to like toxic gym cultures and OnlyFans and corn stars are trying to convince people to just accept them for who they are if they want love and get married and have kids. Like, what grown man wants to put a ring on somebody who does sex work for a living? Not me. Because, like I said, this is what the left does. This is exactly what the left does. And I'm not into politics or anything. I'm just spinning out facts of what I'm familiar with, in my opinion. So, make sure the original video will be down below, and I'm going to catch you on my next one.